So in this video, I'm just going to be showing you the process of moving this tank plus the tank I have over there into the greenhouse, which did take some time. So basically, if you did see my previous videos, I had a tank right here, which I'll be showing you right now. It's a giant gray 300-gallon tank that I was planning to use for some fish, but instead I decided to take it out, which was kind of also a process since I basically had to remove some of the plastic from the greenhouse just to fit it out, which you're going to be seeing in this video as well. I had to fit it through the bars, which are exactly big enough to fit that tub through, which was nice. Otherwise, I would have had to take some other stuff apart because it doesn't fit through the door. To do this other tank, it also was a process. I had to build this little stand here at the bottom, which is made out of 2x6s. Plus, to move this tank in here was pretty tough. These tanks are not, well, that one's not too heavy. It's just awkward because of the shape and stuff. But these ones are pretty heavy actually. So it was quite some work to get them in here and then just to squeeze them in here after setting this stand up in place. Here you can see the platform I made. This is where that tank will sit on. I'll probably wrap this in this insulation stuff just to protect it from the water maybe, and also to keep the bottom of the tank a little warmer. So that's what I'll probably do, but you can see how that is. Here you can see the finished platform for the tank. I would have ideally wanted it actually half the size, but just for how it had to be in that corner, I had to double it up just to give it extra support. That's how it'll be. It doesn't give me much space over here, which isn't too nice, but it works out. And then I'll have to make a hole over here and through the wood or something for the plumbing. Before actually moving this tank, I had to power wash it out because it had some stuff in there. Also at the bottom of the tank, it had all this paper kind of attached to the tank, which took some time to get off, just power washing and kind of like scrubbing. You don't want to scratch or scrub too hard on this tank because it does scratch easily. That's the only problem with acrylic, but it does pay off since this shape fits exactly in this spot I have here, which is neat. So we got the tank here. It was pretty tough actually to put it here since it's got some weight to it and it's awkward shape. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to insulate all the sides, well mostly the back area and then also the top. The front I might leave open or insulate it during the winter. That's how that is. And then I have a hole right here which will be for the plumbing. So I'll basically be redoing a lot of plumbing. This pipe will be connected into here or something and so forth. I want to separate all these tanks onto their own kind of, what do you say? Well, they'll have their own intake and their own outtake. Before moving this stand in here, it did have some paint chipped off because basically this tank was used for salt water beforehand, so the black or this whole metal stand had salt on it, which I had to kind of power wash and scrape off. I also had to chip a lot of the paint off since it was peeling and then repaint it. And then putting it in here is fairly easy since it is pretty light, which is nice compared to the tanks and all that other stuff I have to move. So I got the stand in here now. See, I got it on some pavers, raised it up a little on some wood so I can do some plumbing underneath. Still need to put some weed barrier on those spots. I also, to secure it more, will basically clamp or zip tie these guys to the sides of this, just because I don't want someone to walk in here and accidentally tip this over or anything, just because those are glass aquariums. I've got them on this side too, a big one and then a small one, and that should help with securing it so it doesn't move. So I apply this stuff here
which is basically this camper seal foam tape kind of stuff from Home Depot. The idea of putting it here is to kind of cushion the aquarium when it's on here. Plus, if there's any movement, it does help with that as well. So I have it, well, you can see it there, and you can see it here as well. So moving these tanks was actually challenging to get into the greenhouse just because of the weight and having to go around everything. And when we had to fit it inside the actual stand, it was also pretty tough just because it's a tight fit. It just has like a inch or a half inch basically on both sides. So to fit it in, we have to kind of maneuver it slowly into there, since you don't want to chip the glass or anything and cause some leaking. What sucks about these tanks is that they have these glass plates on each of these quadrants. And basically they have holes underneath which were used previously. The person just patched this up because they wanted to do something else with it. So I have to take these glass panels off, which is a pain. I basically have to kind of crack this piece out because it doesn't really come off since it's the silicone, which is pretty stuck down there. So it takes some time to do that. You can see the process here of removing those little glass plates. I had to basically use a knife and a chisel to chip away the glass piece since it didn't come off just by trying to cut the silicone. I also used a vacuum because of the factor that it was always, when it chipped, the glass would jump everywhere, so I didn't want it to go into my eyes or anything. So the vacuum helped just by sucking it up before majority of it will jump or shatter places. So you can see the tanks on here. It took some time to put it on here just because of the process of breaking this glass piece that was here, that I believe I did have a video I recorded of doing that, or just the piece that was there. And I still need to get some bulkheads for it. The only thing that I don't like about these aquariums is that those holes there are quite small. I wish they were bigger, which would give more flow through the aquariums, but it would be kind of a, I mean, I guess I could have drilled more holes somewhere else, but I'd rather not have more holes in this aquarium and just keep the two that are existing on each of the platforms or each of the little sections. And then for setting it up, what I'll do basically is kind of create an own sump here. I'll dig a hole, put a tub in there. I'm not sure how many gallons. I'll have to calculate and see, but that will be like the bottom point, and all these aquariums will overflow into here. I might set up or put like a pond filter here, but I'll see when I get to it. But first I want to do the other stuff over there, which I'll get to later. And then I got this aquarium up here. It's also not connected yet, since that will be after I do the other plumbing as well. I also need to get a piece of tube to go from here to here, and then when I redo the plumbing and stuff, I'll have water flowing through here at a slower rate. I'm not sure what fish I'll put in there, but it should be pretty cool to see. Also just had to build this platform out of wood for it, just to support it, but it fit perfectly just in this section. So that's pretty much all for this video, just showing you these two aquariums that are in the process of being done. Well, probably in the next few months, since, yeah, got to get everything and finish some other stuff. But we'll see what I decide to breed or do in these ones, plus what to do in those. But if you do have any questions or comments, remember, as always, to leave them below. Otherwise, give a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you for watching.